You have to decide who you are.
We're the crazy ones.
Are you one of the crazy ones? Do you aspire to be a successful entrepreneur? Then what qualities must you possess to be a successful entrepreneur? This is a highly debated question. I believe it all comes down to one quality. They all know how to execute. So join me as we meet crazy people that will share the story of their entrepreneurial journey. I hope you'll be inspired, and please subscribe.
You ain't gonna eat that, are you?
Yeah, I am. In this series of videos called Entrepreneur's Art of War, I'll show you how successful businesses deploy the tactics in the book titled The Art of War by Sun Tzu. This book was written over 2,000 years ago, and its tactics are still being used to this very day. These tactics are not only used in the waging of wars, but by governments to control its population, and yes, even large businesses. If you think businesses become large just because of good products or management team, then think again. So let's get started. The art of reconnaissance is as old as warfare itself. Since ancient times, commanders used their scouts to provide information about the enemy and the terrain for making plans, orders, and life or death situations. Whether in war or business, reconnaissance remains a vital prerequisite for maximizing combat effectiveness while expending as little resources as possible. The art of maneuverings and proper deployment of resources. Sun Tzu wrote, "To know your enemy, you must become your enemy." How do you become your enemy? You must put yourself in the place of your enemy so you can predict his next move. If you know your enemy, you'll know when to fight and when not to fight. Case in point, Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, opened his stores in small towns and stayed far away from the big retailers in the city. The real estate in these small towns was much cheaper than the inner cities, and this cost savings alone enabled him to open even more stores. Once he had the cash flow and buying power, he then moved into larger cities. He knew his opponent and entered into the fight when he knew he was ready. He took his competitors by surprise. I believe this is a perfect example of the art of maneuvering and proper deployment of resources. Sun Tzu wrote, "Now an army may be likened to water, for just as flowing water avoids the heights and flows to the lowlands, so an army avoids strengths and strikes weaknesses." The generals must have the ability to see the battlefield, aggressively seek out opportunities, quickly make and execute decisions, and psychologically dismember the enemy. Warfare, just like in business, agility is a key to success and requires businesses to stay flexible and proactive in the face of changes. Untimely execution can be fatal as conditions can change in a blink of an eye. Case in point, Uber. Uber drivers can work anytime, any day, in as many or few hours as they want. Drivers have complete control of their work schedule. This flexibility has attracted millions of drivers and has turned the traditional taxicab model upside down. Other examples include self-checkout at stores, warehouse automation, ATM machines, online bill pay, and the like. These examples eliminate wait times and delays, which is what people now expect. Oftentimes, one must use stealth, a fast tempo, and fluidity to not only achieve victory, but to obtain it with as little cost as possible. Sun Tzu wrote, "Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt." The strategy for using stealth mode is to give companies extra time to build and perfect a business without giving competitors a chance to react. This is more important when the product or service is a unique idea or a new disruptive technology. A few examples would include Pinterest, Spotify, Snapchat, and Airbnb. That's it for this installment. In the meantime, eat healthy, exercise, and put an end to all negative and false realities from entering your mind.